Morning, good fucking morning.
I'm currently on my way to the gym right now. It's my day off, so I don't have any work today. And yeah, I should be getting this workout in. What time is it? I slept in. I did not, but it's 1:33. Not a bad time to go. I got Muay Thai after this, so if you're one thing is, I find a great workout split, and something that not enough people do is martial arts and weights. You see a lot of people on one end, for example, the weightlifting community is really massive. A lot of people are doing that right now, and it's awesome seeing the growth there. But martial arts is one thing that's also blowing up as well. A lot of people are getting into that, doing that, and it's awesome, myself included. I've been boxing on and off for about a year and a half, 2 years, but for the last 3 months I've been doing Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu, BJJ, kickboxing, stuff like that, like classes, a bit of sparring, and it's really enjoyable. And I see a lot of people in the classes, like, they're in good shape, but they don't necessarily have a ton of muscle, which is fine, obviously. It's like, those people tend to be way better at martial arts, which is amazing, you know. Those people freaking kick butt. Like, you spar one of those guys and you're like, holy, like, these guys are legit, and they're sometimes 20 pounds smaller than you, or they're bigger than you, and you're like, okay, this guy doesn't look like he can move. Cardio is going to be dog. But the guy just goes out there and puts on a clinic for like 25 minutes, and you're gassed, and this guy weighs like 20 pounds more than you, and he's just beating your ass, and it's like, brig. But going on to what I was originally saying is, mixing the two of them, I find, is like the best training I've ever had. And I've been doing weights for about 7 years, 8 years now, since about when I was in high school and I'd fractured my ankle. I decided to lift weights to try and heal up the ankle and just do something so I don't go crazy and get fat. So I did that, and I really loved that. But anyways, this is the best my body's felt. Like, if I did a 40-yard dash or like a box jump or anything like that, I bet you I could get better numbers than I would whilst I was playing football, hockey, track, lacrosse, all those sports. And I'm older and I do less running, but I still think I would be faster. And I also weigh less. I'm about 80 kilo, which is about, say, one in the 180s, high 170s. And I feel fantastic. Like, I feel like a machine now, and it is a great feeling, because bodybuilding is great, but it's the least athletic sport. And what I mean by that is they're great athletes, like, in that specific field, which is resistance training with a lot of negatives, time under tension. But these people have, and I was one of these people, is you lose so much mobility and athleticism. And that's pretty obvious, because that's not what you're training. You're not going there to be like, hey, I want to be a sprinter and hurdleist, but I also want to have 20-inch arms, massive quads, a Christmas tree back. Most of them, they're not going there for that. They're bodybuilding to build muscle, and they kind of forget about athleticism, and it kind of sucks, because I fell down that trap, and I wasn't very, like, if I wanted to run, I couldn't run long. My cardio wasn't very good. My speed wasn't very good. My endurance all went down, and I had all those better attributes when I was training those sports. So this has kind of reignited my passion for athleticism, and why it's important, and then why you need to preach it and practice it, because it's not great being in really good shape, but you can't do anything that like, you just can't do anything. And people are like, this is the most in shape, out of shape person I've ever seen. It's honestly hilarious. So I started doing that, and you just feel good too, because you know you do, like, if, say, this rarely happens, I don't encourage this, and I think it's dumb to even do it, but say something bad happens, you do, even if you have the option to run, which you always want to do, number one, is sometimes you have to buy yourself time to be able to run, and the only way to do that is through self-defense. So say you're a boxer or a Muay Thai guy, BJJ is the best if you want to stand, like, if you want to finish the fight, that's the best one. With a mix of striking, of course. Like, you can't just be on your back and putting your legs up in guard and be like, oh, I'm ready to go, come down here. come get it. Like, that's not realistic, because you'll just get fucking shit kicked out of you. And you're probably going to lose. But a mix of striking and all that stuff, because what striking does is if you know you're in danger or they're threatening you, they've done something to you that affects your safety, if you could get a quick strike in, just to buy yourself a couple seconds and run, like, what more do you want? You avoid danger. You probably won't lose any possessions. You avoid more legal trouble, and you live to fight another day. I would rather lose the battle but win the war of life than just go in there and maybe you do beat the shit out of them, but there's legal consequences and stuff like that. You don't want that. You just want to be able to always be safe, or if you have a loved one or your loved ones, and have some sort of defense. So that's one thing martial arts does that is important, and you never know when you'll need it. Hopefully you never have to use it. And this isn't going on a tangent being like, you got to be alpha and beat people up. No, it's about protecting yourself when you're in danger, and your life could be in danger, or your property, or a loved one, or something, or a friend. So that's one reason. Also, just it's good for your brain, and there's probably studies to back this up. I'm not going to pretend like I have a study or a PhD in broology, but it's definitely beneficial to your brain to learn new things, especially as you get older. To get your brain working in a different way is oftentimes fantastic, and can really keep that brain movement, keep yourself mentally sharp, and just have a better thought process as well. You'll be more clear-minded, and learning something new is always important. You always want to have your brain evolving and learning new things, because it's also, I find, when I got into martial arts and I started to get a bit of an acumen for it, not saying I'm very good or anything, but I've definitely noticed I've gotten better. The word here is better, but I've gotten better, and it kind of does something to your brain, and it says I can do something, I can learn something, and actually see myself progress at it, which is a valuable thing, because you could parlay that into business. I'm not saying those two things are the same, but it's more the thought process of, I started something new, I got better at it, and I'm getting better at it. I wonder where this can go. And if you could apply that to the business world, say you'll take that risk, start that business, that investing or whatever it is financially, is a lot of it's confidence and just getting out there and doing it, which stops a lot of people. It's like the biggest risk people do, like, they just don't take the risk, and then they don't get anything, and it's tough, and as someone trying to make money and develop a future for themselves, like financially and morally and all this great stuff, you have to take some sort of risks, and it helps doing something and seeing you progress at something and knowing, oh, I can actually do something new, get good at it, and progress in it. That is so important, because if I could do it beating the bag up or learning new moves, you could easily do that for a business, an idea, education. So there is like a crossover, which is important. You need that. You need that ability to say, I can pick something up new, I could do well at it, and then progress. It also teaches you something as well, because not everything you try both in business and in life is going to work. Like, it's not. It's like going up to a girl at the bar and being like, hey, how's it going, blah, blah, blah. There's a couple ways of approaching that. Like, if you don't approach anybody, you're not going to get anything or meet anybody new or do anything along those lines. If you only approach one person and it doesn't work out, then you're also going to be distraught. You're going to be like, oh, I tried, but it didn't work. But just like business, trying new things and lifting and stuff like that, it's all about trying and trying more than once at more than one thing, because something may not work out, but another thing may. And that's the important thing, is not everything is going to work, but the more things you try, eventually something will work. And that's just simple numbers. So, and it also shows don't get discouraged. Because if I go out and say, like, I want to introduce myself to new people, I'm not just going to go to one friend group or one person, like, hey, my name is Thomas, blah, 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 blah. I go to multiple people, talk to them, introduce myself, build connections with people, and not just once, but multiple times. Because that is the important thing here. Quick hydration break. But that is the thing here, is just introducing yourself to multiple people and making more than one connection. I'm gonna try and do a little risky maneuver here. I may die. Am I gonna die head on? No, of course not. But yeah, that is pre-gym gospel for today. And now, gonna get this workout, get this working, and I'll catch you guys inside the gym. So this is something I've been doing recently, and I find it's been working pretty good, is bicep, tricep supersets. So I find this gets you a good pump. You get to hit both at the same time, and it can be really beneficial with big compound movements like this for arms. Doing a close grip bench, trying to keep the form as good as possible. It's my last set, so I was a bit tired there. Then finishing up with the biceps after. So some heavier curls, or at least for me, at 35 pounds, and just about a plate, maybe a plate and a 10 over there on the bench. But yeah, just getting that contraction and really focusing on that pump there. It's really beneficial.